Good morning. Hello, my name is Megan Wilden. I'm the director of OLLI, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at Berkshire Community College, and this is the first episode of Hello OLLI, our new TV show here on Pittsfield Community Television, and we're thrilled to be partnering with students from the Miss Hall School who are serving as our crew, and they are doing a terrific job. Thank you so much, ladies. If you're not familiar with OLLI, we are a nonprofit program of Berkshire Community College, and we provide educational, social, and volunteer opportunities, especially for designed by and for people over 50 years old in the greater Berkshires. We have over 1,000 members throughout the Berkshires, plus members in Connecticut, Vermont, and New York State nearby. And we offer 4 semesters of classes on everything from Frank Sinatra's movies to electricity to Dante's Inferno, and today's headlines. We have a series called the Distinguished Speaker Series of experts from all different fields, and we have day trips and special events that take us to wonderful museums and theater performances and so much more. If you're interested in finding out more about OLLI, you can go to BerkshireOLLI, OLLI.org. You can also call our office at 413-236-2190 and ask to be put on our mailing list. Our next semester begins in January 2016 on January 12th, and our new catalog will be out at the end of November. But besides doing wonderful classes and talks and events, we also, it's very important for us to have a positive impact on the community in other ways, and one of those ways is a new program called Mentoring for Success, and it's a partnership between OLLI members and BCC students. And today, as my guest, I have Claudia Shuster. Hi, Claudia. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to see you, Megan.
You too. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Claudia is the co-chair of OLLI's Community Engagement Committee and has been working very hard on developing a mentorship program between OLLI and BCC. Claudia has been a member of OLLI for over 10 years. She is, right now, she is an amazing oil portrait painter, has studios in downtown Pittsfield at Art on No. Wait.
It's now called New Arts.
New Arts, that's right. But for 30 years, she worked in the field of early childhood education, including beginning as a kindergarten teacher and ending as a professor of child development and early education. So we're thrilled to have her here today, and she's going to be telling us more about the Mentoring for Success program. But first, I know sometimes I get confused about what I think I know what something is, but I'm not sure, which is actually where OLLI classes come in handy. But tell us what mentoring is and what it isn't.
Mentoring is a role that you play in supporting a person, usually who has less experience, fewer skills in the areas that you share in common. A mentor serves primarily, number one, as a friend. It is not a parent. It is not the role of a professor. It's someone who's there for you if you have needs. You want to explore the areas of your interest more, would like someone who has the knowledge and skills to support you, and is available. Usually a minimum of a year's commitment is part of the role of a mentor.
That's great. And tell us how the Mentoring for Success program was developed.
When we thought about our role as OLLI members, we recognized how much we get from the community. We're a program where all of the teaching is provided on a volunteer basis. We have people from the community, we have staff and professors from BCC, from Williams, from Massachusetts College of the Liberal Arts, and from Bard at Simon's Rock, all of whom donate their time to us. And we felt it was time to establish some programs that gave back to the community, where we could volunteer to do things for the community rather than just accepting all the generosity of people who present to us. And so the mentoring program was born. We're very fortunate that on the Berkshire Community College side, we have Dr. Kari Dupuy, who is a second-year faculty member in the Human Services Department at BCC, and whose doctorate, amazingly, was focused on mentoring. So she is very enthusiastic about supporting us, and to create mentors, relationships, matches, you need the student and the OLLI member to have some important element in common that they want to work on. And Kari has been an incredible help in identifying students, with our initial focus this year on students who are highly motivated and plan after their 2-year degree, which often takes more than 2 years, but it's 2 years in relation to a liberal arts or any kind of 4-year college degree, that they want to go on for at least 2 more years to complete a 4-year college degree. We felt that this was a helpful first step, because many, many of our OLLI members are very highly educated, dedicated people in a variety of professions, which we could talk about. So it seemed to make sense that the match between an OLLI person and a BCC student might be based, at least in part, on the career interest of the student and the career experience of the OLLI member.
That's great. And I think one of the things that's important is that I think to a lot of OLLI members is that BCC students are often they're the first in their family to go to college. They often have challenges with working, they're working and going to school and so forth. So for us to be able to help these students, I think is really very fulfilling and a great asset to our community, because our young people are very important to the future of the Berkshires.
Absolutely. It's amazing to me that, for example, Kari, who recently completed her doctorate, started at BCC. I believe the president of BCC also started at BCC. It offers a wonderful opportunity for a fine first 2 years of education at certainly a more reasonable cost than would most colleges and universities. And it is very helpful for students who haven't had experience with family members going to college. It is very different from other experiences, and having someone who's been through it and can support you can certainly make a difference. And as you say, it's so important because it's difficult to complete your commitment when you have so many other stresses in your life.
Right. It's a lot. There's a lot to navigate, and it helps to have a friendly guide along the way. And certainly one of the most wonderful things about OLLI, in my opinion, is that so much of what we do is volunteer-based. We have over 1,000 members and just 2 paid staff, of which I'm one, so that much of what OLLI does, from teaching classes, as you pointed out, to editing the newsletter and the catalog and so many other things, is all done by volunteers. And this is another way where we can take the amazing knowledge and experience within our OLLI members, because they come from all walks of life. They were teachers and business people, lawyers and doctors and therapists and all kinds of things, and give that back to the next generation. What was the response from OLLI members when you put the call out for mentor volunteers?
Our initial plan this year, beginning the program with Kari, was to have a minimum of 5 mentors with a maximum of 10. That was pie in the sky. We might get 10. Mm-hmm. At the moment, it looks like we may cap off with 16.
Wow,
Yes.
16. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, it's building up gradually, but we've said that is it. 16 is the maximum this year, because we want to support them and make sure they're getting the help they need in the process of working with the student. And finding the matches is also important, because you want the student to have a need that can be met, at least in part, by the mentor. So as an example, we had a student who was bound and determined to become a doctor. She is a an excellent student at BCC. She won, I think, the Best Student Award last year. She wants to be a doctor and is committed to working in poor areas to serve modest people who perhaps have not gotten the kind of medical service they deserve. And we've just paired her up with a retired neurosurgeon who's very interested in supporting her, a lovely man. And so we're excited about that as one example of the kind of matches that we can make. So having OLLI people with so many interesting backgrounds and professions enables us to reach out to the BCC community for students with like interests. So matching by professional interest is certainly one direction. But we also recently had a request from a member of the staff of BCC for a woman who's graduated already, but would like to stay connected somehow with BCC and wanted a mentor. So, and she's interested in literature, and I think we're going to be pairing her up with a woman who used to be a children's librarian in public schools. So we're branching out and trying to meet the needs of identified BCC students as well as the mentors' interest and expertise.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So have they started meeting?
Oh, yes. What we've done is first we had a basic training session for the mentors. Then Kari Dupuy, reaching out and finding the mentees, the BCC students, has set up matching meetings. I've attended 2 of them. Those are meetings where Kari explains the responsibilities of both the mentor and the mentee. Clearly, they've read them on paper before, but going over them together in person is helpful. And the mentor and the mentee have an opportunity to meet each other to make sure that they click. We haven't had any that didn't click so far, but you just want to make sure that this seems like a reasonable match, and then encouraging them to meet. The goal is to meet in person at least once a month and to have connection at least twice a month. So it could be once a month in person and then once or twice by email or by phone. Some people might want to meet every week, depending upon the interests, the needs, and the opportunity.
That's wonderful. Tell me some more about some of the matches that have been made.
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to do that.
Have been forged.
Yep. Well, I mentioned the neurosurgeon. We also have a teacher of 30 years who's done a lot of tutoring as well recently since she was retired, a very devoted person. And I attended the match meeting with a student who's in her 2nd year and has had experience in the classroom and is definitely focused on becoming an elementary school teacher. And interestingly, I know from my own experience teaching in the classroom that often when you have volunteers to help you, the teacher is working with one group and the volunteer with another. And I asked the young woman if she'd had any feedback from the teacher when she worked in the classroom, and she said, oh no, she agreed with me, the teacher's busy teaching another group. So I suggested that her mentor could go in this semester when she goes back to experience the classroom, and she was happy about the idea of her mentor going in and observing, and then they could have a conversation afterwards, and the mentor, with so many years of teaching experience, could make some little suggestions, could point out positive things she was doing. So that's the kind of specific help that a mentor can give that may not otherwise be available.
That's terrific. And if you're just tuning in now, this is the Hello OLLI TV show presented by the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at Berkshire Community College. We're a not-for-profit membership organization with over 1,000 members throughout the Berkshires, and we provide educational, volunteer, and social opportunities designed especially by and for people over 50 years old. And today we're talking with Claudia Shuster, who is an OLLI member and co-chair of OLLI's Community Engagement Committee. She is talking with us today about the new OLLI BCC Mentoring for Success program, which is very exciting. And tell us more about other things you're involved in with OLLI.
Certainly. I have been taking courses for many, many years and get a lot of enjoyment out of the courses. And while we have not taken any trips, because we still like to trip on our own, we have taken hints from the trips that OLLI takes and say, ah, now there's a museum we've never attended, and done that. We especially enjoy the new effort to welcome new members and introduce the courses for the semester. That way you get a sense not only of the content, which you can get from the catalog, but also the individual teacher. Because just like mentor and mentee, student and teacher need to have a good connection. And you get a chance to see what the teacher is like. We've taken several courses on Shakespeare. There's an attorney who teaches courses that focus on the law and last year it was the law and the environment. This year it was the law and Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah, that's Philip McKnight. He was a professor at MCLA. And next year he's going to be teaching, he's going to teach a class on law and elections, which will be very timely, of course, because we'll have the presidential election.
Exactly.
Yeah, we might need a bigger room for that one.
Yeah, that's true. I happen to be an inveterate reader of the Tuesday New York Times science section. That's the only science I get in my life. And I must admit, I probably read half the articles. Half the articles I read the first line and go, no idea what this is about, onward. But I really enjoy that, and it includes health issues, which I've learned from. For example, I've learned, because I'm a little challenged with night driving, to look at the line on your right. Stay in the right lane and watch the line in the right, so the headlights of people coming at you don't blind you to your driving. Just a little hint like that is so helpful. So, and there is often a science group that meets, and its focus begins with that section of the New York Times. So I have taken that course. And thinking about the members of OLLI, it's led by leading doctors who've retired but who are incredibly knowledgeable about science. So often their discussions are like reading a new article in the New York Times, and you learn a lot from their knowledgeable
And that class is called Science Conversations, and we'll be offering it in our winter semester, which starts January 11th. And thank you for mentioning our OLLI open houses, where you get the sneak previews from the instructors, because our next one will be on Thursday, December 17th, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And it's free and open to everyone. And that will be at the Whitney Center for the Arts in downtown Pittsfield, which is going to be the location of some of our classes this winter. So yes, I'm always so impressed with all of our instructors, and hearing a little bit about each class is a really exciting way to find out, you know, what you might be interested in. And I think one of the great things about OLLI is that you may have worked all your life as a doctor and then decide to go into Italian cooking, of which we have a good example in our OLLI members, or we have a real estate developer who now teaches wonderful history classes. So in OLLI, you get to really follow your passion and learn about things you may never have learned about in your working life, which is really fun.
One of my hobbies all through my life has been life drawing. I've done a little bit of painting, but I really couldn't focus on it and have a studio until I retired. And I've taught OLLI courses in art. And people really appreciate the opportunity to either participate, which has been some of the courses, just like the cooking course, you actually get to cook. But also we've had a series in OLLI where it's sort of meet the artists, and each week there's a new artist who presents his or her area of expertise in art, shows her work, and then usually engages the members of OLLI in some kind of an art activity. And that's been very interesting and successful. And I've learned things as an artist from my fellow artists by honchoing that program. So that's been very nice as well.
That's wonderful. We should offer that again sometime.
Sure, absolutely.
Maybe in the summer. We're always thinking about the next classes at OLLI, because we do 4 semesters a year. And while we just finished up fall, and we're just finishing the planning for winter, and then starting on spring, so it's always an exciting process. And for me, it's always like I'm a waiter, but I don't get to eat any of the food, because I don't get to go to the classes because I'm working, but I get to show them off and share them with everyone.
In fact, I just want to share about that in terms of one of our mentors, who's a recently retired professor, it turns out. And he came as a newly retired person looking for some activity that would engage him, and he was offering to be a mentor. But in talking with him, it became very apparent to me that he'd be a perfect person to also teach some courses. So we're, as you say, we're always looking for new people to teach courses, and who knows who's out in the audience now who thinks, I'm an expert in American history, and I would love to teach a course for OLLI.
Yeah.
And usually 4 to 6 sessions, is that right, Megan?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
once a week for about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you're listening to this and interested in teaching, you can give us a call at 413-236-2190. You can also send an email to OLLI, OLLI, at berkshirecc.edu. We'd love to hear from you, and you can check out our website at berkshireolli.org for more information on the kinds of programs we do, and also about joining. We also have a scholarships available if you're low income, and the fee, which I think is very reasonable, but if it's a challenge for you, we are happy to work with you and offer scholarships as well, because we want everyone who is interested in OLLI to be able to take part.
And that's so important.
Yeah.
One other thing about the mentoring program is we do offer some basic training to the mentors. They come from a variety of disciplines, so some are very familiar and have had experience mentoring, and some have been mentoring but didn't realize it, and others feel as if it's something new, although usually the people who volunteer are empathetic, caring, friendly people, so they already have many of the skills that you need as a mentor. Sure. We are also fortunate, thanks to OLLI, having a little luncheon for all the mentors and mentees coming up in December, because we're eager to build a sense of community among all of them, and they'll get to meet each other, spend a little time together. We do have just meetings for mentors around training, but to engage both mentor and mentee in one place for a while, we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. And you have a terrific co-chair as well, right?
Yes, a wonderful co-chair.
Tell us about her.
My hunch is that almost everyone in our audience today knows Carol Siegel. My joke about Carol is that when I go out to lunch with her, I can count on 3 or 4 people coming over to, in a very friendly way, say hello, because Carol's lived here over 50 years and has made such amazing contributions to all of us that she is beloved by many people, and I'm so happy to have her as my co-chair on the OLLI side. Kari is on the BCC student side.
Both very valuable.
Yep.
And Carol is a member of the OLLI board.
Yes.
And she is a retired
Well, she
counselor,
has a doctorate. Yeah, she has a doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
She focused on school counseling and then leading that program. She's worked in many areas of counseling, and she also is a devoted board member. She's also on the board of BMC. She's on the board of the Colonial and that theater group. If there's a group meeting, expect Carol to attend. She is one of those show-up people, and she makes a wonderful contribution. So I'm very happy to have her as co-chair. And she has done a lot of presenting around how to be a mentor. So she really is our key content person to help our mentors feel confident and comfortable in their responsibilities.
Yeah, you guys are a great team. You and Carol and Kari have done an amazing job putting together the Mentoring for Success program, and then the proof is in the pudding now. We've had such a great response from OLLI members, from BCC staff, helping to identify potential students. It's really very, very exciting.
Well, I feel very fortunate to be able to do it. I'm very excited about it and looking forward to the future years developing it.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, Claudia. And I want to remind folks, if you're interested in finding out more about OLLI, you can go to our website at berkshireolli.org. You can also give us a call and join our mailing list. It's 413-236-2190, or email us at olli@berkshirecc.edu. olli.edu. And next month, we'll be hosting a Winter OLLI Open House on Thursday, December 17th, with wonderful refreshments and great people, and the opportunity to meet and hear from some of our instructors. And we have just the most amazing instructors at OLLI. So it's a great way to get a sense of what we're all about. That's going to be Thursday, December 17th at the Whitney Center for the Arts, which is located at 42 Wendell Avenue in downtown Pittsfield, the former Women's Club. So we hope to see you there or see you online, and keep an eye out for the OLLI catalog, which comes out in a couple of weeks, and you'll find it at the libraries all over the Berkshires and lots of other locations. So thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.